In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a gel and two flashes to turn any ordinary backdrop like you see in this shot into this final creative portrait. Now, best of all, this entire technique will take you less than 5 minutes to set up on your own, and the entire result is done 100% in camera. Before starting, I want to thank ProPhoto for sponsoring this video. It's these sponsorships that make it possible for us to create high quality, free education for all of you guys on YouTube. So let's go ahead and dive in, and let's talk first about what you're going to need for this setup. First, you're going to need two flashes. So we're going to use the ProPhoto B10 as well as the B1. Next, I want you guys to grab a gel, any gel. This is a gel. It's just a semi-translucent piece of plastic that comes in different colors, and you can pick them up at, well, your local camera shop. You can grab them online. You can grab them in sheets like this and simply cut them out to fit your flashes, or you can also go with pre-made solutions. So with ProPhoto, they have pre-made solutions like this creative kit that has all of the gels already pre-cut and ready to go, and then you simply mount those into the gel holder as opposed to, say, taping them over your flash using Velcro or any other system. When it comes to the color of the gel, well, that is your creative discretion as the photographer. Pick what you want. Next, you're gonna need a means of controlling the main light. Mainly, we need to control spill. So in the video, I'm actually using a snoot. This is the ProPhoto OCF snoot, but you can also do really the same thing with a grid. So you'll notice that underneath the gel holder that I have here, you'll see the grid actually mounted. So we can actually use a grid or a snoot, but the main thing is just that we have control over that light, because we don't want our main light to be spilling all over the place. Otherwise, it's gonna wash out our color and it's gonna reduce the drama in our shot. Okay, so let's talk about the setup. Now, we're working with Jay Hersey. We're gonna tag him so you guys can follow him below. But first, I have my model standing in the scene and grabbing my camera. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna think of my composition. Remember camp, right? So how do we want this composition to start? Now, I'm gonna start with a standing shot and kind of zoomed in on Jay and his face, and it's exactly what you see here in this ambient light shot. With that basic starting composition, I'm gonna move towards ambient light. This is where I wanna bring down that in-camera exposure, so that way I can knock out all of the bad ambient light in the scene and get to something dark, which I'm gonna then overlay, well, my colors onto. So we're running at around 1/200 of a second, f7.1 and ISO 100 to kind of knock out all of our ambient light. Now we go to the next step in the camp framework, which is to modify or add light. And in this case, we need to add light. We're gonna start with the background light. This is where I grabbed the B10, I popped the red gel onto it, and you can actually fire this directly into the background of your shot, or you can bounce it off something if you want a little bit more of a subtle effect. Now, I had a wall to bounce. If you don't have a wall, just fire it directly in or put it against a modifier and fire it in, whatever you want to do. But this is your creative choice. You can even put the flash directly behind the model and aim it right towards the wall. There's so many different options here. I'm opting to aim the flash off of the wall on the left side, so we have a nice graduation in that color as it goes from brightest red to kind of darkest red on the right side of the frame. Once that flash is set up, you're just gonna adjust the flash power according to your scene. So this is gonna vary. You're really just gonna take a shot and look at it, see if you want the color to be brighter or darker. Here we're using around 50 watt seconds of light. So that means on a ProPhoto B10, we're running it around 7 to 8 power, which is about full power on a standard flash. Next, we go to adding the next light, right? So again, when we think of that camp framework, modify or add, here we still want to add another light. So we then move to our second light. Notice that we're going one by one. So this go around, I grab the B1 and I have the snoot placed over it. Now, I'm not using any of these flashes at a high output setting, and really you don't need to in most scenes because you're usually doing this type of stuff indoors when you have walls to kind of work with or at nighttime. So I don't need tons of power, but what's nice about the B10 and the B1 is the modeling light. The modeling light on these flashes fills the entire visible area of the flash. And that means when we put a modifier onto this, we see exactly what we're actually going to be getting out of the flash. That's nice because on other flashes, the modeling light might be like a little kind of flash assist light that doesn't really fill the entire modifier. So what we're seeing with the modeling light isn't actually what we're going to be getting. So it's nice having that what you see is what you get kind of look and feel, because we can put that snooted light or that gridded light directly where we want it and really not have to play around and mess around. We can have it placed and we can see exactly what we're gonna get. So all we did with that main light is we're placing it sort of behind Jay just a bit and angled forward towards his face, firing just a little bit top down and only really landing on his face. We're firing that B1 at around 4 to 5 power. This is like 1/8 to 1/16 power on a standard flash, or around 4 to 10 watt seconds of light. So it's not a lot. And with that, we get this image here. Now, what we did in post was actually super simple. All I did was I took a visual flow preset. We're using the soft light preset from the modern pack. I applied it to the image and then I just did a tiny bit of retouch for his skin in Photoshop. That's it. This is that point in time where you're gonna be tempted to pack things up. You got your shot, let's move on to the next spot. And I'm gonna say slow it down. This is where I want you to switch your lens, walk around a little bit, check out the scene from different angles, because there's other shots to be had. With our tight and wide images, I felt like we had a really great creative set with Jay, and that's it for this video. Now, I hope you guys can see just how powerful this technique is, because it's so incredibly simple. You can do it as a one-man team, and you can do this anywhere, have the entire setup ready to go within 5 minutes, and have a really great set of portraits that looks so incredibly different than what you would see with your natural eye. It's one of those shots and one of those techniques that's truly gonna wow your clients. Be sure to join us on our Facebook group at Master Lighting and Off-Camera Flash with SLR Lounge. We have an incredible team of ambassadors and educators that are there, an amazing community all about learning natural light all the way through to studio lighting, everything in between right there. If you guys enjoy our style of education, be sure to check out slrloungeworkshops.com. We pride ourselves on creating complete A to Z solutions for everything when it comes to photography, from not only learning the camera and setup and composition and how to shoot, but also how to light and how to pose and how to shoot weddings and everything in between. So be sure to check that out as well. In the meantime, you guys can find me at Pygirsa on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.